Hey everyone, my name is Mike and I'm a maker, educator, and founder of an organization here in the Triad called Triad Youth Makers, and we're dedicated to helping young people and families explore and discover the joys of maker education. And today I wanted to show you this video about Raspberry Pi. So Raspberry Pi they're a type of computer that can be used for all sorts of applications, from a traditional desktop computer to robotics to Bitcoin machines to home media centers to retro gaming devices. The sky's kind of the limit, and that's one of the cool things about the Raspberry Pi. So in this series of videos, I'm going to show you how to get started, what to buy, how the Raspberry Pi is different from some other microcontrollers or mini computers, those types of things, and then look at some projects that you can do with them. So again, my focus is generally around youth and young people. I'm a former middle and high school teacher, but certainly if you're an adult learner and you're beginning, all these projects that I'll show you and a lot of this beginner information will be useful to you as well, right? Because you got to start somewhere. So I'm on the Raspberry Pi website, raspberrypi.org, and that's a great place to go. They're constantly updating this website with new information. So if you want kind of one place to go, that's where I would go to get started. And so this is telling you about the newest version, Raspberry Pi 4. As of June 2020, that's the time of recording right now, June 2020. The Raspberry Pi 4, the 8 gigabyte version just got announced. And so that's really exciting because it's becoming faster and faster and more in line with what you would find and almost in like some low-end desktops that you could buy from Dell or Lenovo or HP or those types of companies. So just real briefly, here's what the Raspberry Pi looks like. As it says here on the screen, you can get a 2 gigabyte version. The 2 gigabyte version is still about $35, I believe. One of the things about Raspberry Pi it used to be is they always advertised it as the $35 computer. And all back in the day that was true. Nowadays, it's not as true as it used to be, because by the time you add all the things you need to it, to get it to work, it's not $35. But technically, if you buy the 2 gigabyte version, just straight up with nothing else, it is $35. So I mean, they're not lying when they say that, but it's a little misleading. The 4 gigabyte version is usually $45, and then the 8 gigabyte version, the newest version that just came out, I believe it's hard to find right now as of June 2020. But as of right now, it's like 75 bucks. So they get pricey as you add more RAM to them. And I should say, you can't add the RAM yourself. It's not like a traditional desktop where you can just open it up and put more RAM. Everything is soldered onto the PCB, the printed circuit board. So you can't really upgrade as you could a traditional computer. Okay, they are still credit card size. That's kind of the cool thing. I mean, they're literally the size of a credit card, which is amazing. The newer ones, I think the Raspberry Pi 4, it's USB-C power. So one of the things you always said is, oh, you just use your cell phone charger to charge it, because everybody's got a dozen probably, or half a dozen cell phone chargers laying around your house. So that's not true anymore. Now you might have a cell phone that has USB-C. Newer ones don't. Certainly if you have an iPhone, it doesn't, because it uses a lightning cable. And some newer Android phones, again, I'm in June 2020 here, they use USB-C, but you'd have to get a USB-C charger, and we'll talk about where to buy and how to buy things in a later video or a later segment, maybe in this one. The newest Raspberry Pi 4 is micro HDMI. So again, you're going to need most monitors and TVs you have in your house or in your apartment or wherever you stay at. Is regular HDMI. So this is HDMI micro. So you'll have to get an adapter. It does have 4 USB ports. 2 of them are USB 3, which is great, and it still has gigabit Ethernet, which is really good. Obviously, if you're going to use this more of a traditional desktop computer. And then it does have Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. And then it has this cool 40-pin header up here. And this is kind of we'll talk about this in a later segment or later video. This is kind of the real power of the Raspberry Pi, because you can connect all sorts of devices into this 40-pin header and do some amazing things with it. So this is really how it's different from a traditional desktop computer. Traditional desktop computers have USB, so you can plug in peripherals and stuff, but this 40-pin header here, these little gold pins here, are what make the Pi really powerful for maker projects. Okay.